Hi, third grade friends. Happy First Chapter Friday. I am here to show you our new series. This series can be found in the animal section under BIR. There are actually two different parts to this series. You can either read the books from Humphrey's Tiny Tales, which is what I'm going to read from today, or the regular Adventures with Humphrey books. There are a lot more on the shelf. I only grabbed a few because I cannot hold them all. Today we're going to read from Humphrey's Creepy Crawly Camping Adventure. So, obviously, the main character in both of these series is our cute little hamster, Humphrey. So chapter 1 is called The Creepy Crawly Classroom. "What's the opposite of slow?" Miss Bisbane asked our class one Friday afternoon. Miss Bisbane is the teacher in room 26. I'm the classroom hamster. I was thinking about the answer when Raise Your Hand Heidi Hopper cried out, "Fast!" "That's correct, Heidi," Miss Bisbane said, "but you forgot to raise your hand again." Heidi said she was sorry, and Miss Bisbane continued. "What is the opposite of happy?" she asked. A lot of hands went up. My paw went up too, but I guess Miss Bisbane didn't notice. She called on AJ. "Sad," he shouted. "Correct," Miss Bisbane said, "but please lower your voice, AJ. Now, what's the opposite of silly?" "Eek!" a voice cried out. It was Gail. She was almost always giggling. That's why I called her Stop Giggling Gail. But she wasn't giggling now. In fact, she looked scared. "What's the matter, Gail?" Mrs. Bisbane asked. Gail jumped out of her chair and pointed at her table. "There's a spider," she said. "A creepy, crawly spider." "Ew," Mandy said. Og, the classroom frog, splashed around in his water. "Boing, boing," he said. That's the way green frogs like him talk. "Og likes spiders," Richie said. It was true. Og likes bugs a lot. He even likes them for dinner. Ew. Miss Bisbane walked over to Gail's desk. "It's just a tiny little spider," she said. "It won't hurt you." I scrambled up to the tippy top of my cage to get a better look. The spider must have been tiny because I couldn't see it at all. Miss Bisbane put a piece of paper under the spider and carried it across the room. Then she opened the window and gently let the spider crawl outside. "Girls are scaredy cats," I heard AJ whisper loudly. "They're afraid of everything," his friend Garth agreed. I don't think girls are scaredy cats. I don't think girls are like cats at all. I also don't think I'd be afraid of a tiny spider. Miss Bisbane closed the window. "Boys and girls, most spiders won't hurt you. In fact, they can be helpful," she explained. I tried to picture a helpful spider. With 8 legs, a spider could be a lot of help when it came to washing dishes and doing other chores. Mrs. Bisbane said, "They help get rid of pests, and they're very shy." "But they're creepy," Gail whispered. Then Mrs. Bisbane asked, "Back to my question. What's the opposite of silly, Gail?" "Serious," Gail answered. You know what? For once, she looked very, very serious. At the end of the school day, Mrs. Bisbane told the class that Heidi would be taking me home for the weekend. I'm lucky. As a classroom hamster, I get to go home with a different student each weekend. Og the frog stays in the classroom by himself. He doesn't need to be fed every day like I do. "Bye, Og," I squeaked to my friend as Heidi carefully picked up my cage. "See you on Monday." "Boing, boing," he replied. I think Og wished he could come too. So did I. Chapter 2 is called The Great Outdoors. So I'm guessing that's where our camping adventure is going to begin. Again, you can find both Humphrey series in our animal genre section under BIR. I hope you guys have a wonderful First Chapter Friday. Bye, friends.